I'm muted. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Syncro, and I'll let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome.
I'm muted also. Hi everyone, I'm Brandy. I'm part of the sales team here at Syncro. Nice to see everyone.
Yes, indeed. It's obviously Friday. We have the mute button issue, so hopefully we'll smooth through this Open Office Hours today. So for those of you that are joining us, and this is not your first time, thank you so much for returning. We absolutely love doing these. Your questions are always fun to answer. It's nice to communicate with you all outside of, email and that kind of thing. So this is really fun for us. For those of you that this is your first time at Open Office Hours, welcome. This is really a great forum to be able to ask whatever questions that may have come up during the week. So I really like the idea of, making this a weekly scheduled event for you, for your technicians, because this is a great way to continue training as well. So if your technicians continue to have questions, or as you've noticed, we release things all the time. So it's kind of great to continue to come in and kind of get some training on all of the new things as well. And all questions are welcome. We use the Q&A. So if you see us like looking over onto a different screen, that's usually because we've got that popped out onto a different screen and working through those questions. So feel free to ask whatever you're thinking about today or have been thinking about throughout the week. And kind of to start off, I'm just going to hand it over to Brandy. She's going to talk through some awesome things about custom fields.
Awesome. Thanks, Crystal. I'm really excited about this because I've been asked about custom fields every single day this week. So I think it's a good time. You can really do a ton of different things with custom fields. So I'm just going to open up. I've got a lot of tabs because you can use custom fields all throughout Syncro. So you can use them for customers, contacts, tickets, and assets. I do like to let people know that these can be encrypted custom fields, which is why I'm here in the App Center. Before you're going to notice, and I just discovered this yesterday, I just assumed it was available, but before secret custom fields or encrypted custom fields are going to be visible to you to be able to create, you'll have to go into the App Center and set up Password Vault. It's free. It's included in your subscription or in your trial. So absolutely set this up first. That's going to be your first step. The next is to go into the admin section. So under customers, you're going to notice customer custom fields, contact custom fields, and asset custom fields. And then for tickets, lonely tickets are down here for your ticket custom fields. So you'll come in here and you'll set up whatever type of custom fields that you want. Let me just open up a customer custom field real quickly. I've got a ton and mine looks crazy here under custom fields for the customer, but it's just to show you that you can have tons of different options. When you go to create a new custom field after you have Password Vault enabled, you're going to notice now you have the option for secret or encrypted custom fields. For a customer, a way that you might want to use custom fields is maybe you've got a pop-up. So anytime you type in a customer's name and you want to know if it's an MSP client or maybe a VIP client, it's going to pop up and say MSP client, VIP client if you have a pop-up custom field. Otherwise, you're going to see my different options here. You can type in my Password Vault phrase to populate that information. I've also got links on here as well. So this is one place you can use it. Of course, under your contacts, you're going to notice custom fields as well. So maybe on a contact level, you've got passwords that you'd like to store here, and those can be encrypted. I'm going to go through a couple of the different places where you can use custom fields. So the first is being here on customers. Out to the left, you're going to have a magnifying glass, and you can create saved customer searches based on these different custom fields. So I like to have a custom field for a customer that is type. And I've got all of my leads. So now I can go send out a mass email to all of my leads because a lead creates a customer and I've got a custom field for that. But you can absolutely group customers differently here and send out mass emails based on those different groups here. Another way is very similar to that is you can have saved asset searches. So out to the left, again, magnifying glass on the assets in our RMM page. I can come here, I can create a new search based on custom fields. So I can come in here and I can choose, okay, it's a certain text box or checkbox, whatever it is, I'm gonna group my my customers differently. And then maybe I want to, based on this, I want to go send out a mass broadcast message and say, hey, leave your device on tonight. Maybe I want to send out a mass email to everyone who doesn't have antivirus and offer them an antivirus option. So you can use custom fields for saved asset searches. Another area, and this is my personal favorite, is here on your invoices. You've got your recurring invoices. I can scroll down here and I can bill dynamically based on custom fields. So you can do that for an asset. So this is where, hey, I can come here and say they've got Bitdefender and I'm going to charge X amount per month. Maybe they've got a certain installed app and I'm going to bill for that as well. So you can bill dynamically here. You can bill dynamically based on a contact custom field as well. And so that's going to be an area where you might want to use that. Another is in scripting, and I love the scripting part too. So you can absolutely come in here and you can use custom fields to read and write to. So maybe I've got my famous internet speed script and I have a custom field for that, and it's going to run that script and report the value into a custom field. So you can read and write to asset custom fields and customer custom fields. And a lot of times the scripts that are in the community script library will tell you what you need to have a custom field for in order for this to work together. So you can do that. And then broadcast messages is another thing. So I mentioned briefly with, I just accidentally skipped over this with your asset custom fields. Actually, I mentioned that, never mind. Last thing that I'll mention here is notifications. And I got this question this morning and it prompted me to write it down and remind you guys. If you are wanting to track anything other than your manual assets or your managed assets in Syncro, maybe you want to track a software subscription. You could have a manual asset for that. You could create a date range, and then in the notification center, maybe you want to get notified 7 days or 30 days before this date range pops up. You can absolutely get notifications based on asset date ranges. So love this part, and I know this has come up quite a bit too. So in short, even though that was long, there's a lot of different ways that you can use custom fields all throughout Syncro. You can be really, really creative. If you guys have questions about any of those, let us know. I hope that was helpful. I love custom fields.
That's so good. Thank you, Brandy. By the way, these are always recorded. And I did hear from marketing, this won't be uploaded until Monday. So you can check it out on Monday, but all of our previous ones are on our YouTube channel too. So thanks, Brandy.
And some reports too. You can use custom fields or saved asset searches, I guess.
I love it. That was epic. Thank you so much, Brandy. I have a question here from Brian. He says, are there plans to be able to do saved searches with custom date fields? I haven't heard of any specific plans around that. Brian, if you can email our help with a feature request for that and exactly like a use case scenario of what you would need to use that for, we are happy to pass that along to our development team. The closest thing that has to do with the date ranges is kind of one of the last things that Brandy showed is if you can get notified that an asset has a date field 30 days in the future or 7 days in the future. That's basically as you can get notified about that. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I don't know if maybe you showed this, but also with the date ranges, because you can set up those notifications just like Tatiana just showed. You also, when you're creating a saved asset search, like if you're using a custom date range custom field, you can like filter by that date. So if it was like 7 days away, you could create a saved asset search based upon that date. I'm not exactly sure the use case, like Tatiana said, if that doesn't fit kind of what you're looking for, we'd love to hear how we could make that better. Awesome. Okay, dokie. Oh, Sean wants to know. So, oh, go ahead, Brandy.
Oh, I read this as when is the report builder I read it as that Brandy leaked yesterday. I did not leak this. I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't even talk yesterday. Oh my goodness, I thought I was going to get in trouble.
Assuming this was a Facebook teaser or something, and I don't know.
I didn't see that on the Facebook group.
You
So
know
no
more than
comment.
us, Sean. This is more of a surprise to us than to you.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. Aside that from it's beautiful, and I'm jacked about it.
Amazing. You guys are in for a treat.
Brian says, I created custom date fields for warranty info. I wanted to create a custom search for out of warranty assets. So let me think about this logic one more time. So if you created a new search and it was a Syncro device and you added a property condition, and so let's say it was, where did I just see that date? Service expiration date. Why isn't it clicking? Am I blinking out? Like, it's like not letting me click service expiration date. Maybe.
So I created service expiration date. That's a custom field that I've created. I don't know if that will work in there, but I can try on my end too and see if it works.
After you created it, had you gone into an asset and populated it? Because I'm wondering if that's why I can't click it. Maybe? I don't
I can try to add one real fast.
because what was the other date that I just saw? Operation installation date is greater than or less than. So I think you could absolutely search for something that was past the date. So I would think so.
Yeah, question here from Rob. He says, is there a hard limit to how much information is stored in those custom fields, especially the encrypted ones? I don't know of a limit. I think specifically there is a difference between like a text custom field and a customer custom link custom field. So I think it depends on which one that you choose to use, whether it's a pop-up or any of the other ones. The encrypted ones, again, I haven't heard of a character limit, but I can double check with our support team.
I have literally copied like an article and put them in there before just to test. So I don't really think there is.
I did that too. I mean, the custom field looks pretty interesting because it does.
Yeah.
It just expands it. I also noticed that it doesn't like truncate it. Is that the word? It actually keeps it as.
Yeah, like your customer page or asset page is going to be like, you're going to be scrolling for a while, but.
Cool. I'll read this one from Andy. Can a customer or a custom date field set to repeat domain renewal date, which when the date arrives, the date increments by 1 year, would be useful along with notifications to let customers know it's due for renewal. So definitely like the custom date mixed with the notification that date is arriving, that already exists, but the automation of the update of that doesn't exist. So I think you would have to probably utilize the notification to whether that's what you go do is update that date. As of right now, would be an interesting feature request though, for sure.
And real quickly, I just want to touch on what we were chatting about before that. Let me see if this is the right window to share. You guys can see my new saved asset search here. So property conditions are not going to be, these are hard coded. So these are not going to take into consideration your custom fields. So mine are grayed out, you'll see. Those are just custom fields that I've added in here. The rest are actually on the device itself. So you will have to use your custom fields out to the right for saved asset searches.
Good to know. Thanks, Brandy.
Yeah, yours were the same color, but it wasn't letting you click on it, but mine are grayed out. So I'm pretty sure that's why.
Got it. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for diving into that one a little bit further.
And you guys can ask any questions. It doesn't have to be custom field related. It's still.
It prompted everyone to ask.
Custom fields are awesome, but if you have other questions, you can pop those into the Q&A as well.
Just gotten a lot of questions about those this week, and it was great. Perfect timing.
Yeah, really good job, Brandy, too, because there's so many use cases, and when you utilize the power of a combined RMM and PSA and everything talks to each other, it's really incredible. Like you were saying on that script, where you can in a script access like a contact custom field, like that's ridiculous. That's not.
And I would be too, since I think there's only one question in here, but if any of you guys have played around with custom fields and there's like an awesome one that you've added, feel free to let us know, because we'd love to share that with the group too. If you're not in the Facebook group, you don't get to share that type of stuff. And we would love to see that, because I get people ask me all the time, like, how are people using it? And I'm like, I have how we use it, and it's just set up because we want to show you, but we're not MSPs. So that would be great to hear too.
Yeah, I like the notification, like the alert pop up sometimes, those like make sure you call this number, or VIP customer, or hard of hearing, like anything like that. You can use that alert pop up, and that's really helpful, especially for your technicians. I will say one thing to note on those, like on the alerts, like the pop up custom fields, just because we've got a little time, I can kind of dive into that. Those alerts only show up one time per browser session. So like if you went to our Larry's Lamplighter and then went to another customer and then went back to Larry's Lamplighter, that alert won't come back again. It's like a one time per browser thing. So I just like to just mention kind of like the detail on that one. But Brandy, you got this one?
Yes. So I have a question in here. I have a problem with refund, how to process the refund, especially if you give money back to the customer. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. So, and I've never personally done this, so I'm just going to come in here and test it out. But in an invoice, you could see I marked this one as paid, and I've got some different line items on here. If you go to actions, you'll be able to refund this way. And then you can choose how you want that to go, like distribute towards these different line items in here. Then you would also be able to choose the payment method or refund method. So you can absolutely do it in here.
See, did you get the second part of that? I processed the refund manually on Stripe, and when processing on Syncro, it gives credit. Did you get that part?
No, I actually don't know the answer to that. I just saw that. I truly don't know. And since we don't have Stripe integrated into our account, I would reach out to support for that. Unless you ladies know something different that I don't, I'm not familiar with how that works.
Nope.
I can drop the refunds KB though, just in case in the chat box quick.
Cool. Oh, go ahead, Tatiana. There's a couple. It's, if you want to give Rafi's examples, those are great.
Yeah, these are awesome. So Rafi is sharing with us how he uses custom fields. He said we created a custom field if a user has local admin rights. We also did BitLocker keys, and I think there's a script in the community script library. I was trying to find that, but I think I saw that one in there. And then the other one he was mentioning is on the customer, who their email host is, how they authenticate, Active Directory, Azure, none, and what kind of phone system they have. So again, if there's certain fields that are pertinent to how you do your business and what information you need to collect about your customers, that's literally the perfect example to use custom fields for. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
We love it when you open up and tell us kind of what you're doing too. It's really, really helpful for not only for us, but for everyone else that's here. I love this because I think I'm going to read this one out loud from Lonnie, because I think this is probably a pretty common style of transition maybe. So it says, hi ladies, I'm new here. So welcome, been following your recorded webinars, just got on the live one today. I'm not yet on Syncro, tried it a few years ago. Looks like it has matured greatly over time and I'm impressed with the flexibility. I'm planning on trying again. You're coming from Atera and Kaseya VSA. Maybe you can talk a light comparison. I really like your aggressive release update schedule with fixes and new features. I will have some questions as we progress forward. So perfect. And thank you. Yeah, we, as a sales team, we really try to learn the product as well as we possibly can and try to help as much as we possibly can. We will openly admit we are not technical support, but we certainly try to answer what we can, and we'll let you know of the things that we can't. But this is a really great question. And there's a lot of competitors out there and everyone does a different thing. And I hear all of the time, there's not a perfect RMM, there's not a perfect PSA, but, I think that you can find a perfect solution for you and perfect solution for you and your business. And when it comes to a comparison, like a direct comparison to Atera, but one thing is that you're using Atera and Kaseya at the same time. So Atera is a combined RMM and PSA tool as well. One of the main differentiators that we have is the billing aspect, the ability to process payments right within Syncro. That's a huge differentiator. Not only do we release quality features on a regular basis, we are listening to our community. So we're building what you're asking for. And the combined RMM and PSA piece of it is that our PSA is very developed. It's been developed for a very long time. Our sister product is Repair Shopper. And so our PSA is so feature rich, and our RMM, we are releasing things so quickly and so rapidly. And the way that they talk to each other is incredibly seamless. So I think not to go into I could do this, I could deep dive this for a really long time, and I'm not going to do the whole sales pitch thing. But I think that the last part is that, as a company, we're here for you and we want you to succeed and we want you to make more money with Syncro. So hopefully that helps.
Also, I just see, Sean, I don't want you to think we're ignoring you, but it looks like he had an issue as well with the payment that was a credit, and he's using WorldPay. So different payment processors, and it looks like you have a ticket open too. So we'll check into these too when we get off and just make sure.
Great. And yeah, I think hopefully, Dina, hopefully I'm saying your name right. Definitely, I think that all of your questions would be really beneficial to just reach out to technical support. Anytime it gets deep into the accounting side of things, I would definitely recommend reaching out. We've got specialists on the team that also specialize in the integrations with both QuickBooks Desktop and Online and Xero. So wouldn't want to steer you in the wrong direction, especially when it comes to accounting. Next question is, do you know if Bitdefender will uninstall any other AV when it gets installed? I actually just learned this the other day. You totally can do this. It's a setting that you can have it uninstall another antivirus. So in your Gravity Zone console, you can choose if you want it to uninstall the existing antivirus. So I'm glad that we just did a Bitdefender training, and I took that in. I remember.
Me too. That was one of my gems from the call.
Yeah, exactly. Good question. Speaking of Bitdefender, whether you're on a trial of Syncro or you're a payer, you can now trial Bitdefender. That was released last week, which is phenomenal. You get 30 days, just like you can do with MCSoft now within the product. While you're in trial. So I just wanted to mention that too. Gives you the ability to really kind of, if you're going to make the jump to Syncro, really use the full product base and everything that's available to you. Definitely will help increase your revenue for sure.
Absolutely, and it's helpful too with Bitdefender specifically in their pricing cost. It does include DNS filtering, web filtering, which are usually extra paid add-ons that you would get in a different product. And there's just a ton of other really beneficial tools built in that come in wrapped up in that per endpoint cost that are not specifically add-ons. So definitely recommend checking it out for sure.
Awesome. I feel like there's quiet today on this Friday. It's like a short week and I'm trying to think of things to talk about. Let's see. What did we release today? Or what are we releasing today, or what has been released this week? I'm not really sure. Let's see here. Who wants to talk about something?
I was going to say maybe Sean wants to tell us where he heard about the reports release.
Yeah. The teaser.
It's been a long time coming, and we are super, super excited because this is very highly requested. It's brought up on most open office hours and in the Facebook group and on demos. And so I'm so excited for you guys to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I was going to mention, and yes, I actually just talked about this with someone a few minutes ago. They might even be here, but from our demo this morning is that previously on scripting, when you can read and write to custom fields, the passwords are now available. So you can read and write to passwords, which is nice. So that's going to be a new, I think that was this week at
Yeah.
some point.
Yep, that was this week. I could just show you really quick. If you go to scripts, um,
Scott, the report was in the Facebook group yesterday. Show us your admin page. Nope.
not happening. Not happening. All right, I was just going to show you. So this is the script variables. So whether they be runtime variables, we've always had platform variables, but now you do have the password variables. So that's what Brandy was mentioning, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, I didn't want to show those earlier just in case, but then I remembered I'm getting better, you guys. Brian says, sorry, I'm driving. I can't be chatty today. Well, thanks for tuning in on your commute today. We appreciate that. We're like a radio show now.
Syncro podcast coming soon.
Oh, there's a couple questions in here. So any plans to ease uninstalling programs? Yes. I don't have an ETA on that, but I know that's something that is on the roadmap in the future to be able to uninstall apps. You can currently uninstall using a script. I know it's not the easiest way, but it is doable. And you guys also can get notifications anytime an end user is installing a new app if you'd like to. You can, of course, do a report for the inventory of apps that they have, but if you want to get a notification, you can. And then Scott is asking, in the customer portal, is it possible for the assigned user to see the details of the asset? So I'm just going to show you what they can actually see real quickly, because you can, of course, pick and choose what they have access to viewing from their customer portal. But if I've got one here, what they actually see for the asset. So if they have access to viewing assets, if you give them those permissions, they're going to see manual assets, and they're also going to see your, managed assets and manual assets. What they can do is they can click into here, and if you give them access to scripts, they can run a script on their own. So they're not going to view like custom fields. Custom fields aren't visible from the customer portal, so they wouldn't be able to see information like that. When it comes to assets, it's really just going to drill down to like serial number and type and making a script available. Although you're probably not going to trust them to run everything, you could make like clean the recycling bin scripts like that available to them.
Thank you, Brandy. A question from Evan. He says, we do manage backup for customers where we bill per gigabyte of data backed up. Is there a way to create a customer for billing purposes? For example, manage backup custom asset, storage used field, invoices bill against storage used integers. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll show you what we do have currently available. We do integrate with Cloudberry. If you head over to the App Center, scroll a bit down, it's actually now called MSP 360, but they used to be called Cloudberry. So with this integration with them, it is solely for the purposes of making it as easy as possible for you guys to bill your customers on a per gig basis. So if you go over to a recurring invoice and you select for the add line item, you select data backup line, this is going to be completely white labeled to you. So you can pull in your Cloudberry user, your Cloudberry package, or again, MSP 360 is what it's called now. And this will basically pull in how much data you're backing up for them and add that to the invoice for you and accurately keep it up to date. So specifically to your question, you said, can I use a custom field for that? I don't think so. And the reason I'm going to say that, and ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, you can use an RMM asset and RMM counter, just like Brandy was showing you guys, where you can pull in a saved asset search and bill on the saved asset search. However, within the asset search, you can use a text field, drop down field, checkbox field, but I don't think it will like dynamically update the number that you put into here. It'll calculate how many assets fall under this selection that you make here. So like 20 assets have this asset text, custom text field that equals whatever you put in here, but it won't pick up like how many, like the actual number that you put in here. So I hope that answers your question. let me know if you have further ones. Just pop another one into the Q&A.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. Okay, let me read this one. I think I might have a solution, but I have a few computers that were set up on Screen Connect trial. I deleted the Screen Connect custom field, but the option to connect via Screen Connect still shows for these assets. It's no big deal, but any idea how I can get rid of the Screen Connect completely? I would, before reaching out to technical support, I would just check on the policy that's applied to those machines. When you have Screen Connect integrated, you have that option to bring your own Screen Connect in the policy. So maybe just check that real quick and make, if it's still checked, uncheck it. And that will automatically sync all of the assets on that policy anyways. I would try that. And if that doesn't work, then I would reach out to technical support on that one. All right. We've got a couple other ones in here. Should I talk through these, or are you guys?
Yeah, I'm looking at Lonnie's right now just to walk through that.
I have a quick update for Evan. He says he needs to create a ton of assets with how much actual backup there is. If you guys didn't know, if you have manual assets that you are keeping track of within Syncro for whether they're copy machines that you need to take care of for your customers, but obviously they don't have a Syncro agent installed on them, we do. Let me share my screen real quick. We do have the capability to do so within the assets and RMM section, and Brandy showed this to you guys as well. If you go under manage asset type, you can create any manual asset types that you guys need, and you can create custom fields under the manual asset types, not just Syncro devices. But if you need to do a huge import for whatever reason of manual asset types, you can reach out to help@syncromsp.com. They'll send you a CSV, and when you email them back, they can upload those for you. So if hopefully that helps kind of ease the pain of importing manual assets in bulk like that.
Thank you, Tatiana. And I've got Lonnie. So I'm just walking through this in my head, but he's saying, so in ticketing, here's the scenario. A customer responds to a ticket. Assume the status changes to customer responded or customer reply. I review the ticket, but do nothing with it at the moment. Is there an easy way to set the status to technician reviewed? So in case later the customer sends another response prior to the technician responding or acting upon the ticket, it will easily be known that the customer has responded again. So let me just share my screen real quickly, and I'm pretty sure this is going to do it. So you're saying if a ticket comes in and it's a customer reply, you would like to change the status to, and then whatever status you would like to change in here. You'll notice that what you mentioned is not a, like, technician reviewed is not a status in here. You can add custom statuses if you would like to. Some of these are hard coded and trigger different things in the back end though. But this is where you could come in, and our hard coded ones as well as your custom list will show up in here. So if a ticket comes in and it's customer reply, yes, you can change the status to whatever it is that you would like here. So it keeps it open for you. Hopefully that helps. And that's, excuse me, ticket, I did not even tell you where I got here, but ticket automation. So if you just go into the admin section under tickets, you're going to notice ticket automations right here. Perfect.
Awesome. I'm going to read this one out loud. So let me just double check here. Okay, is there a pop-up message for customers that have RMM installed that we can send to an asset that is offline? When the customer takes their laptop offline and there is an issue that needs to be resolved on their laptop, I am looking for the best way to get notified that their laptop is back online. Should we just chat the user to let them know their laptop is back online? That's one way that you could do it. I think the other way is you could send a broadcast message, because there's an option to, if the computer's offline, to have it go once it's online. So I think that might be the best way, because as of right now, there's not an RMM alert for our agents that come back online. So I think using the broadcast message would, or chat, but broadcast message probably would do what you're looking for. I think, I'm pretty certain.
Awesome, thank you. Question here, any update on Domos integration? I haven't heard of anything. I know some people use that for SNMP monitoring, which is super highly requested within Syncro, and we are very actively working towards. So again, that's kind of the update there. And then another update from Jeremy. He says, just a note to say how excited I am to see the feature Jeremy McSpadden suggested was accepted for the community-driven development track feature, adding quick links for all assets, etc., to the search all the things results. I'm super excited for this because it will save many, many clicks a day. So that's super encouraging to hear. Thank you, Jeremy, for sending that in. If you guys aren't aware, if you're not part of our Facebook group, we've launched a new type of thing where you can vote on basically the features that are the most important to you as a community, and they pick, I think it's like one a week, two a week, some, like it's pretty consistent, just based on, again, what you guys are looking for. And again, those features that you guys ask for, let us know how they can save you a ton of time or make you money. And those are the things that are going to get prioritized. And the specific, sounds like this was a quality of life feature, which is also important for us as well. So really glad to hear that, Jeremy. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to add to that, for those of you who are in or are not in the Facebook group, this recently launched, like Tatiana mentioned, and it's not huge feature requests. It's not things that are going to take us a ton of time. It's really like small quality of life features. So you get to submit those, you get to be in the running, and then they pick like the top 10, and then people can vote and give their input and stuff on that. So it's really neat to see. There's like hundreds of, I think there were like 500 comments on the last one. It's really neat, and a lot of you guys who come in here, yours are getting selected, and so that's really nice to see. It just goes to show, when you do have a feature request, please let us know why you want that feature request and a use case for it, because that's what gets it noticed.
Yeah, I just popped the Facebook link into the chat box. Even if you guys don't have Facebook, just sign up and join our group. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, I think just have a business page.
Sure. I wonder, I think previously they were offering like mugs for those. Do you know if they're still doing that? Like if your feature request wins, not only do you get it shipped, but I think they also send a mug in the mail, which is so awesome.
Yeah, I think for US they're doing that. Cool. Bob, real quick, he said broadcast messages to queue up and then are pushed after asset comes back online. Cool. Yep, you can absolutely do that.
Awesome. And then I think along the same note, what Jimmy's saying is for online alert to the technician, there's a script in the community library called task, send email to alert asset is online. For an alert to the customer, change the send email parameter to broadcast message. Queue up the script in the offline asset and it will run what is back online. So that's awesome. Thank you very much. That's really cool. So I guess you can find this in the community script library, which is amazing.
And Sean is mentioning, because he is an admin in our Facebook group, that to please, when you filled out the Facebook form, to please put your information that you have to have an email address it's required for verification, and it makes the process a lot faster rather than hanging out for a week waiting on approval. Make sure you please put an email address in there. And sometimes it helps too. A lot of you guys might have a business or a Facebook that isn't the same as your business. And so if you want, or maybe the name's different, something like you use, I don't know, a spouse's or something, just let us know and we can pass that information along too. It might speed up that process.
Absolutely. I was just also, there's a question / kind of feedback regarding the new password variables. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm documenting that, and I'm going to pass that along to the team. I just didn't want you to think that we didn't see that. So just want to let you know.
Question from Rob. He says, who do we contact about our new integration? I spoke with AnyDesk and they'd like to set up integration with the team. So yeah, if you have any of those types of questions on custom integrations or anything like that, please do reach out to help@syncromsp.com. We do have an open REST API. We hear of new apps and new integrations that connect with us all the time based on someone else building them to us. So yes, using the API or reaching out to help to kind of work with someone there.
Lonnie says, thanks. I don't think I want an automation on customer reply. I need to open the ticket, review the response first, then change the status at that time, either manually or with an automation. Just because I opened the ticket and reviewed. Most systems don't normally do the latter, so manually is fine. Yeah, there wouldn't be an automation for that because it's not going to know if you opened it and you reviewed it and how long did it to review that. So you will absolutely be able to manually change the status of the ticket. And even if you send an email through the ticket, you can change the status that way too.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandy.
These are awesome questions today.
Yeah.
I love every week is so different. It's so nice.
It doesn't seem like there's like themes. Like no one's probably talking to each other, but there's like
Yeah.
themes of time, like styles, which I think is really funny.
Ooh. Joe says, when you search for a client name, can you add a tag of an abbreviation like Larry Lamplighter? Can you have him pull up searching LLL? Not currently, but I really like that. I like that. Even like to be able to search for custom fields, like if you had a nickname or something, you know, you could put that in there. Really good suggestion. I like that.
I like that too. Yeah, that's really, really good. Just have tags. I like that. We've mentioned this at the beginning, but for those of you that are brand new to Syncro, I like to mention all of the resources that we have, because like we said, we do this every Friday and we love it, and so we don't plan on changing that. So put it on your schedule. Feel free to just register for all of them and just keep joining us. But the other thing is that our knowledge base articles are amazing, and they can help you, set certain integrations up and that kind of thing. The other thing that I like to note too is that our YouTube channel is really awesome, and it has so many different videos in here. So it can really help even spark ideas. Like I said, we've got all of our open office hours here. Any style like partner webinars and that kind of thing all gets listed here on our YouTube channel as well. Our blog is phenomenal. Our marketing team does such a great job keeping you guys up to date, which is hard to do because we're releasing things so fast. And so checking out our release notes and just making sure you're up to date with everything that we're doing. I would definitely recommend that. If you're in a trial and you have not had a demo, reach out. Your account rep is probably either Tatiana or Brandy, so please email them. It's just, you can see their names. It's Tatiana@syncromsp.com. So if you do, if you have questions and you want to hop on a call, we're super low pressure. It's kind of like this, like we just want to help you learn the product and make it work best for your business. So don't be shy. Let us know if you need help. But also take advantage of all of the awesome stuff. I think that if you're new to Syncro, it's cool to just mention here too that we do have I can't remember. I think it might drop you right into this training tab. But even if you are a paying account and this training tab was released after you became a payer, you can always add this training tab back to your tabs up here. And this is helpful. We've got some onboarding style videos and that kind of thing. It links you directly to our KB as well as our release notes. So a lot of helpful resources there. So, all right. What else? What else we got? All right. I haven't read.
Lonnie. Yeah, if Tatiana is your account rep, then yep.
Mm-hmm. And you'll know who your account rep is. We've probably sent you emails either welcoming you to the product, and if you don't know, you can always reach out to help, and they can let you know who your point of contact is on the sales team.
Yeah, if you don't have a trial yet either, you won't be assigned, if you're not in an active trial, you won't be assigned an account representative yet. So spin up a new trial if you have an old one, or sign up for a new one, and then you'll be assigned to someone. You'll get an email, I promise, pretty quickly with our info.
I
Don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Question from Rafi: is there a special email for API support, or should those go to general help? I would send them to just help@syncromsp.com. You can title it API questions, and I think they do funnel to like a specific queue that way. But yes, general help@syncromsp.com.
Evan, any realistic expectation on SMP monitoring? I'm about to dive in on some PowerShell scripts, but don't want to devote a ton of hours or a dozen hours towards something I'm going to throw away when something better comes along. Brandy, maybe just spill one bean. Evan, I would honestly just say, depending on what your timeline is on when you need to get that done, I would probably wait. That's all. Unless you need to do it tomorrow. Soon. Okay, bye. I'm gonna disappear into my Zoom background now.
We honestly, I know it seems like we're kind of like joking around. We don't love that we can't share stuff with you. It just doesn't make sense because it's going to go through thorough quality assurance testing. And if it's not ready, we can't ship it. And having no deadline to disappoint you guys with just gives them the flexibility to build awesome features at a rapid race, prioritize things that are ready to go earlier than expected, shuffle the schedule around. So it's, I mean, it's fun letting you guys know a heads up, sometimes accidentally, sometimes on purpose, but we don't love not sharing that with you. We just literally don't know. So hopefully you guys trust that we do want to let you know all the exciting cool things. We just don't know. Question from Lonnie. They say had a trial before. I saw a link about extending trial. We'll do that next week. Yep. Yeah. Just use that button and we'll reach out.
Question about Jeremy wants to know, and hey Brandy, he just asks Brandy when anybody wants to know new things, but news on when chat will push to the mobile app. I don't have a specific date on this one, but I do know that that's in the works, and so I would just stay tuned. Just keep looking out. We'll let you know as soon as it is available. What else do we have here?
Jason has a feature request, so it would be helpful to be able to create a new contact directly from the ticket form instead of backing around to the customer's area and then create one, refresh, and select. Yeah, I like that. And then two, one thing, let me just show this to you. I show this all the time, but let me just do this real quickly since we're talking about automatically creating contacts. Under a customer, if you go to edit a customer and you toggle over to our word of the day, custom fields, there is going to be one automatically in here for you, and that's going to be email domains. If you add the domain, this will auto create a contact for you as well. So if you were to get an email from, Brandy at larryislamplighter.com and you've never gotten an email from her before, but the domain is in here, then it's going to create a contact for you automatically. So that's another way, just a way to go around that.
Question from Rob. He says, are there plans to create an insider's NDA program to see these roadmap updates? I think I haven't heard of any concrete plans. I would say the closest thing to that would be the Facebook group, and it's not anything super top secret. You don't have to sign any paperwork or anything like that, but you do get to see those community driven development tracks. What's everybody else wanting? What's getting upvoted? And you can also ask us in open office hours. Usually if somebody says, do you have HIPAA coming? And we'll say, yes, this is something that's a huge priority. And we have since then shipped that. And we've kind of told you guys kind of updates along the way. Again, it's just not going to be concrete timelines since those get moved around all the time. Question from Rafi. He says, we wanted to make custom forms for certain things like terminations, new hires, special requests. However, custom ticket fields show up on every ticket, not based on the ticket type. Is there a way around this? What I would recommend is, if you haven't looked into this option already, is to try to maybe use worksheets instead, because our worksheets can be tied to custom fields. So, or I'm sorry, our ticket custom fields can be tied to worksheets and pre-populated that way. So for example, if we go over to Larry's business, and I already have the virus removal worksheet attached here. Again, this is what you could use as a set of steps on kind of which steps to take and in which order to take them, which tech is actually resolving, how far in the process this is being complete. And again, here's those custom fields as well. So if you need to set up another different type of a custom field or new computer setup or whatever it might be, these custom fields can attach can kind of pre-populate more. So it wouldn't, so to answer your question directly, no, you cannot edit that based on the ticket type, but you can edit that based on the ticket custom field. And I'll show you really quick where you find those settings. That is going to be in the admin section. Scroll down under the tickets, and it's going to be under your ticket custom fields, ticket worksheets. So when you're building out the custom fields, you have the capability, again, like the one that I just showed, the website work, or literally any of them can have their own kind of built-in that pull them in, and then you can have worksheets attached to that custom field type to kind of help you customize your tickets even further based on the work that you're trying to complete. So hopefully that points you in the right direction. I just did a deep dive on our YouTube channel, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, on how to attach ticket custom fields to worksheets. So if you go over to the video section, it's going to be right here. So yeah, 1 week ago. Hopefully that helps.
Sweet, thank you. I'll just read this one. I know that search results cannot be sorted by online offline status. The nearest approximation is sort by last sync. Is this a feature we can get? If we can't, can we trigger a full sync? If a full sync is a script, and it looks like it is, can it be added to the list of available Syncro scripts? So I've heard this feature request several times, just as very recently, to trigger a full sync. And I think we're looking into that. We're looking at different use cases and things like that to be able to make it more of like a quick, like button style thing. I will say there's several ways to trigger a full sync, but you can actually just go into a policy. You don't even have to really change anything. You can resave the policy and it'll trigger that sync. That's kind of a workaround if you don't, I mean, it is a workaround. So I think that I'll continue to pass this script or this request through because I have heard it quite often of you. I think, Tatiana, I feel like this was something you requested the other day. I've through. So we'll push that forward again. And the other question I was going to grab while I'm not muted is, so if I forward emails to Syncro mailbox, does a ticket lead get created based upon the domain? I feel they don't always get assigned to the client. What am I missing? So we have email rules. So let me just share my screen really quickly. So let me just go to Larry. And I'll just show you really quickly. You can add email rules to your customer. You can also, like, a quick way to get there is you can just edit and you can go to custom fields. Email domains are right here. So you could quickly add a domain, and that will then, anytime a ticket is created with that domain, it will attach it to Larry. So for example, if you do not have those domains set up, and they are not created as contacts. So if they're not a customer or a contact that's already created, why is that doing that? And not created, then yeah, it would not get assigned to this customer. So using email rules, the other place you can get there, because you have a couple of options with email rules, is if you hop down to email rules here from your admin section, you have the ability to set up the domain, but it does give you the option as well, like when you're editing the actual email rule, you have the ability to have it auto create contacts. So now you don't have to manually create any new contacts. So I would recommend doing that. So I don't think you're missing anything. I just think there's some like additional things you could do to make sure that your tickets are routing properly. All right, let me stop sharing. Here we go.
Yeah, a question from Jimmy, and this is related to a couple questions along the same lines that were asked today. He says, am I missing an offline time anywhere I see last sync, but that's not as usable when figuring out offline servers. So yeah, kind of along the same lines, if you go over, you're right, at this time that's a feature request. If you go over to your assets and RMM section, it doesn't say length of time that it's been off, or last sync. It says last sync or last boot, but not the time. That is requested very often. So I'll pass that along again, because again, the more often we hear it, the more often it's going to help you troubleshoot things faster and help you provide better service to your customers. That's obviously a priority for us as well. So I'll add that for sure.
Awesome, thanks. And then I created an empty shake policy just to transfer assets to or from to get the sync going. The problem is I can't do this from within a script, and my understanding is that there's no API for changing the policy for an asset. I don't know. I know that's not something natively that you can do. I'm not a scripter or a developer, so I don't know if there's something you can do that way to change the policy. But to my knowledge, just changing the policy either manually on an individual device, you can also do that via a saved asset search as well, if you want to do that.
Awesome. A little bit of follow up to the email and mailbox question. Just a little bit, if maybe I missed this part, but it's if the email was forwarded in. So if your customer, if they email you from a domain that you have set up in Syncro, and you are the tech, like you are a user in Syncro and you forward that in, it'll recognize you are a user in Syncro or a technician, and it'll look for that CC and apply it to the customer. So hopefully that helps. All right, questions lining down. And again, thank you so much for everybody that kind of contributed to helping us answer some questions today. That's always really helpful. And I like how the community can kind of talk to each other, because, you know, like we said, we know Syncro really, really well, but we're not MSPs. And so it's really helpful to hear from you guys of how you're doing things. And that's really helpful. So thank you. Let's see, we're winding down in the hour. Thank you, Jeremy. We're happy you're back. And yes, we really, really do love this. So I appreciate you all hanging out.
Lonnie's asking, what's the availability to monitor devices like routers, switches, etc.? That comes along with our SNMP monitoring soon, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, as of today, it might be just worth, you know, showing if you do go to an asset. You do have the ability to set up like a ping check. So that's not necessary. I'm not saying this is an answer for monitoring a router or anything like that. But if you are unaware, if you go to a specific asset, you can go to system checks and add a ping check or a web server, enter the remote host information, have it check every so often, notify and rearm. So just making sure you've seen that that's there. But yes, like Brandy said, I think keep an eye out and an ear out for kind of what's to come there. Well, awesome. Okay. Oh, there's always someone that comments about your clock.
I know. I've got to get a new one. If anyone, I'm so lazy. I'm not a lazy person at all, but to get a new Zoom, you know, you got to go search through all of these things. Half of them have like the graphic across the, you can't copyright. So if anyone wants to send me, I think someone in this group sent me a whole bunch of frozen ones once, and I use them for meetings. But if anyone wants to send me a new Office background, feel free. I'd love it. I'll give you a shout out next week.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you all. Yeah. And we want to see, yes, we need your waves to be in motion, Tatiana. That means you're actually on the beach somewhere.
Yep, I'll work on it. I'll just stream live from the beach next time, or like from like a beach house or something.
You guys just get my boring office every weekend because this is where I am.
I like the synchro swag though.
Oh, right there. All right. Okay. It's time. Thank you guys so much. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.